And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Boy, it's warmed up a degree since we started this around 3:30 this morning when I got in the chair. It's now up to 46. Yeah, it was 45 there for a couple hours. We'll head to a nice high, though, later today. We'll climb to about 78, 79, around in that area today. Not bad at all, is it? So that's up and coming today as we start warming up. We'll go over all the headlines and highlights of what happened in Meridian beginning at 7 this morning with Scotty Ray and Odie. Odie's standing by, getting ready. He's reading his material to make sure he's got the latest and greatest. Joyce Godwin, how are you? Pat and Jim Coker joins us. Richard, how are you as well? Chastity's in there. Also Roy Ellis. Good to see y'all. Becky Vickers up. Barbara Gowdy. So many of you stirring, getting your coffee and starting your day with us. We appreciate that so much as we do this. We've got your forecast and all of that good stuff. We're going to go into some headlines that are happening across America in a few moments. And don't forget, armed and dangerous suspect. I know your phone has gone off over and over and over since yesterday after the Mississippi State trooper was shot and wounded. He's going to be okay, but the manhunt continues. We're going to tell you all about that this morning at 7 o'clock as well. Most of all, we want you to drive careful this morning as you head out and about. We're all safe right now. Let's make it stay that way. All right, let's back up a minute and go out to Collinsville. So how much is 30 pieces of silver worth to you? Let's find out more about that. Brother Ben's going to tell us about that this morning. Interesting. Let's talk about Judas a little bit.
Have you ever changed your mind too late? That's what happened to Judas, the man who betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. After Jesus was sentenced to death, they delivered him over to the Romans for his execution. At that point, Judas became exceedingly sorrowful. Now, many have speculated that he never thought his actions would lead to Jesus' crucifixion, and that he'd be simply trying to force Jesus' hand to move more quickly to step up to the throne of Israel. Maybe, but whatever the case is, when Judas saw what they were doing with Jesus, he changed his mind. He took the 30 pieces of silver back to the religious leaders in the temple and declared, "I've sinned by betraying innocent blood." But it was too late. Jesus' condemnation was fixed. He would soon die on a cross. The religious leaders refused to take back the money, and so Judas threw it at their feet and walked out. Sadly, he would soon commit suicide by hanging himself. Judas changed his mind about Jesus, but it was too late. Beloved, I pray you won't make that same mistake. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. I don't know about you, but I sure enjoy those from Brother Ben. Hope you get a little something extra out of it each day as you start your day. And we'll post that in a little while if you missed any parts of it, so you can hear it again. That's all up and coming today. Brother Ben there. Collinsville, they'll have church services tonight. Make sure to drop in on Wednesday night. And most likely, no matter where you are, there's probably a church within 10 to 15 minutes of where you live. Drop in and visit one. See what that fuss is all about. As we said, today is Wednesday, hump day, as we move on. Now, I ponder my brain as to look for the right words for this, as we've see these different companies of America take political stands or try to push agendas on you, the American people, to think maybe the way they do. I don't know whether this is generational, and it may be that thinking has gone one way. As we see things, that me and Odie was talking about this a minute ago before we went live, of how sometimes standards are lowered to make those who can't achieve it look as though they do. Now, there's no doubt that with all military branches of the United States that recruitment is down. Odie, you were in the Navy, weren't you?
I was.
Odie, it says he was in the Navy. There's a lot of you who were. We've got a big naval base here, training. They're down about 8,000, and again, I'm trying to be very careful how I word this. 8,000 recruits are what they're off of what they need to sign up to join the Navy. And I'm going to show you this picture as we go to Daily Mail as they report on this. Now, we've all seen other companies move to, I guess the word is transgender representatives trying to get people to either buy their product or join up. And the headline reads, is the Navy's Dylan, is it Mulvaney moment? Drag performer Harpy Daniels is the new Navy's digital ambassador to boost recruitment since it has fell 8,000. Now, let me just show you the picture. There's no other way to word this. Again, the United States Navy, one of the most powerful forces in the world, recruitment off. So who's in charge of this? Again, this comes from Daily Mail. That's both of them. This is what she dresses and does performances, and this is him during the daytime. Or maybe vice versa. I'm not quite sure what it is, but has it gone to where we have to do that? Again, read the story. Don't listen to everything I have to say about all of that. He's Yeoman Second Class Joshua Kelly, whose stage name is Harpy Daniels. Let me back up. Announced he would be the Navy's first digital ambassador.
I got a problem with that.
Wow. I mean, really, I don't know what to say. People like China, and I would think that maybe even Russia is rejoicing over things of this nature. It worries me. It truly worries me. We're not downing anyone. We're saying America needs a little help here. Boy. We'll watch these stories and update you on that. Again, the Navy. Read that story for yourself. There's more details in there, but that's the headline of what we're seeing on that this morning. Norderstorm, what is that? Well, they're shutting down their stores in San Francisco. Why? They can't make it anymore. Why? Things are getting stolen. Crime is out of control, and they can't afford to make a profit anymore. It's going to be in America to where everything is done online because these huge storefronts cannot allow lawmakers in these towns to where it's not illegal to steal. And that's what goes on. For people, we have so many people that are in the government now making decisions that don't understand business, how a profit is made, what protection of others are. It's one business after another in these large cities is being overtaken by crime. Why? Defund the police. Y'all all know that. You've seen it happening, and you see it every day. More and more of that. They've caught the Texas gunman that killed the 5 neighbors. He's in custody, thank heavens. That's good news there. As we look at this next story of how things happen, Texarkana, Texas, right there at the line of Arkansas, 18-year-old baseball player was shot in the chest. He's struggling. He's still alive. Why? We don't really know why the shooter would do that, but that has happened over the last 24 hours. We thought we'd share that with you. That's a few of the samples of the headlines that are shaping America as you're waking up. Some are good, some are awful. There are good things that go on in our world. We can't forget that. We just can't let the evil overtake it. We've got all your local headlines, everything that's gone on over the last 24 hours here across the state of Mississippi coming up at 7 o'clock. We'd love to have your input on all that. Don't go anywhere. We've got your forecast so you can get into this and learn a few things. Is it going to be warm? Is it cool? Well, it's cool now. We'll tell you about the forecast in just a moment. All that's next.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, or conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Let's look at radar nationwide as we pull up and start today. As we go over to Meridian Honda radar, this is what we're looking at here as we go out to Texas there around Bay City, Victoria. We've got a little fog this morning. It moves up by Hot Springs, Arkansas a little bit there. Norman, Oklahoma showers. And as we get into our area again this afternoon, we want to watch fire. Be careful with that. Now, as we get further east into Georgia and down into Florida, all of this is a fire watch warning. It's not just a watch, it's moved into a warning there. All of that area there, showers up in Charleston, West Virginia area, but that's a brief overlook. Rain-free here in the great state of Mississippi, along with Mississippi and also the good folks over in Georgia. We're doing good on all of that. So let's get into your forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Those record highs, record lows, 1952. Warm day was 93. We're not going to get anywhere near that today. A low of 42. We were kind of close to that as we started out. We were at 45 earlier. 1960, 42 was that record low set in the early morning hours. As we glance across, scan the skies today, 77, 78 in Meridian. As we go northward up 19 to Philadelphia, we'll hit 76. And as you go further north, look at that temperature change. As you go from Philadelphia and you go up through Louisville there, and you make it all the way to Starkville, Columbus, 73 in that area. And as we go south, Brookhaven should hit 77, even 78 over in Natchez. As we go east into Bamaland, Demopolis should see 76 there at the river. Even Selma, 77, and somewhere around 77 right there in Livingston, Alabama as well. Now, as we look at this, this is the fire danger that we talked about just a moment ago. This cuts across south of Meridian out by the airport all the way out to Wyandotte and due north, taking in all of Neshoba County. These areas don't burn today. Hold off on that. Wait a few days, and when it's not windy, and do your burn piles. Now's not it. Don't thump cigarettes out the window and watch those trailer chains. They do drag a little bit there. As we look at this overall, as you can see, we're warming up. Yeah, we are. As we've got this, looking at Mississippi, the northern part of this state, warmer. Out to our west, we do see that, well, California, a little cooler there. As our 7-day forecast rolls in from Wilson Salt and Outdoor Power, what do we got? 78 on today as we look to tomorrow, even warmer, 82. But we do start seeing rain move into the forecast Friday afternoon through, well, as far as the eye can see, all the way through next Tuesday on that 7-day outlook. Now, we'll still be able to have some events. I think it breaks down hour by hour, but there's a chance that we could get wet with the different things going on. Hopefully, it'll make it all the way through Collinsville Day without getting wet. Of course, we've got the big show coming up downtown Meridian Friday night, full moon on 5th, and I think it's on 5th this time. We'll check all that out to make sure we're right. As we go ahead for another week into May, all the way through the 17th, look at this, 80-degree weather, 86, 87. We do get cooler around the 16th with a high of only 81, but scattered showers just about every day. Small chances, not huge. We'll watch that very carefully. Let's head out to the old fishing hole. What's good today? Well, Chet's Paint Body tells us 10 o'clock should be a good time, 10 to lunchtime. That north wind, somewhere around 5 to 10 today. Not horrible, but a good fishing report overall. Hope it works out for you there. Let's see, Teresa is up. How are you doing? Dot joining us this morning. Also, Laura, Todd, how are you? Well, you're Lee now. Good morning to you. Lamar Hembry joins us from Kipper County. So many of you, we appreciate each and every one of you for making this such success. Now, we got Odie standing by. He's going to be in just a moment as we bring you a new day, new stories, and, well, what's important to you. We've got all that on the way beginning at 7. We are sitting at now 6:45, 6:44. Almost told a little lie there, didn't I? Minute off as we get this day started. Put a smile on, face it, and drive careful. Most of all, we'll tell you about all the goings-on coming up at 7 right here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: